I was talking to some friends this past week, and we started talking about, wow, they say, man, you were young. You had a heart attack and you had a bypass and you were in your early 40s. And I said, yeah. And by the way, do you have a disability policy in place?
Yeah.
Oh, man, no, I don't actually. And you can tell it kind of hits them, too, when you talk to them about it. You can tell it's like, wow, well, what's the number? Give me the number. I'm going to call them right now. That's something a major, because you think about divorce, you think about bankruptcy, you think about those scenarios, and then people, they don't plan for that. It's just weird how we are as human beings. We kind of just focus on the near future, and we sometimes forget that long-term thought process.
Yeah, Brandon, I've got firsthand experience too dealing with that. Especially on the making sure you have a life policy in place too. Dealing with my business partner and what he experienced with his wife at the age of 27. So
I remember that.
You don't think it's going to happen to you, but it absolutely. You got two people in studio that it directly happened to.
Yeah. Doug?
Yeah, I'm here.
To you, I'm back to you. I know you were going to comment on that.
No, I mean, you guys we're all, kind of singing the same song. I mean, it's the thought that came into my head, too, is NIMBA. If you've ever heard that, not in my backyard, right? That's the attitude most people have. It's not going to happen to me. And, I mean, these can be some tough conversations, but I've been in business and helping people with their insurance and finances for 18 years, and what I've always found is people feel so much better once they've done something about it and they know they have that. So you're really buying that peace of mind. And listen, we talked about it, Brandon, a little before the show. It's cut right from the headline. Vincent Jackson, wide receiver from the Bucs, just passed away yesterday.
38 years old.
Wide receiver, 38 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking again. That guy was a stud. I mean, you would look at that guy and say, wow, great shape, right? And again, we don't know what happened, details, and we're not going to speculate on that. But and then the other one was Screech. Dustin Diamond just passed away 2 weeks ago, and he died at
cancer,
the age of 44.
right?
Yeah, he died of cancer, and apparently in 3 weeks. So
wow,
I look and there's lots of things that people have to protect, and there's what you have to have and what you ought to have. People, you got to have homeowners, you got to have auto insurance. There's certain things you've got to have, but we really recommend people taking the time to look. And the reality, too, a lot of times people think, Brandon, I can't afford that. It's going to be too expensive. And frankly, a lot of people are really surprised when they see how affordable the cost of insurance, especially for life insurance, is. I mean, let's say you're a guy in your 30s or 40s, you're looking maybe $20 to $50 a month for basic term life coverage, of course, depending on your health and how much coverage and, what your scenario is. But again, it's a lot more affordable a lot of times than people think.
And it's far less expensive than putting that burden of financial responsibility on your family if you do pass, because that's the unfortunate thing that that you can't really calculate is what happens if something does happen to you, and the financial burdens that all of a sudden your loved ones have to cope and deal with, from funeral costs to whatever outstanding debt you may have, and the complexities of dealing with all that, so it's really important. For $25 a month, as he's sharing, that's a no-brainer.
Let me just add something too about VJ. He was in real estate. He had the real estate business going. He came in and we did an interview with him, and just what a nice guy. Just awesome seems like a really sweet person, nice guy, and just a shame.
His foundation was all about supporting veterans in the community. His parents were veterans. The Charity Polo Classic, which is a nonprofit that I co-founded a decade ago.
Mm-hmm.
His foundation was a beneficiary of that. He always attended that event, always was gracious with his time and being there
in action, right?
Yeah, and being there for the people and man, it's truly tragic.
Like sobering, very sobering.
So sad.
So if you just joined us, we're talking with Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance. He's our insurance expert local to here, to Tampa Bay, that is. And also in studio, Patrick MORAITES, Axis Group, a longtime friend of the program as well, and a local PEO, Professional Employer Organization. So Doug, back to you. Yep, you were going to comment?
No, again, just thinking what a great community guy he was. I don't know Vincent. I didn't know him, I should say, in the level you guys did. But, again, no, he was a great community guy. And, we just encourage the listeners out there, if this has turned something in you, you can check out our website, which is TampaBayInsurance.com. You can go right to TampaBayInsurance.com. We even have a click-to-call button. You can either click to call or click to text and dialogue with us right there. And we're happy to get some info and numbers over to you. And like I said, in my 18 years, ran into people that actually take a little bit of time to go through the process, which is really not that challenging. It's not that hard. Always feels so much better at the end. And, Mark Twain, the very famous author, he had so many great sayings. He had something on life insurance. He said, life insurance is a love letter, right? Think about that for a second. If you really dig deep into it, you're doing it for the people you love and care about, right? And that's really what we're talking about here. So, you make a wife, kids, or a husband, kids, or, depending on your scenario, you've got people you care about protecting. It's just an important thing. So, and we've got access to over 80 companies. We've got every major market out there. We've got all sorts of solutions for people, whether they do have health conditions or not. So we'd love that opportunity to help give you that peace of mind, that protection.
And one of the things that was really topical this year as well, and I loved how you always bring great value to the show, Doug, and what it was about business owners as well, because business owners, as they set their projections and they're looking forward, and then you have all of a sudden this black swan called COVID-19 or Chinese virus, just depending on how you want to label it. But when you look at that, that has effect on business policies, Doug, and you were telling me the intricacies of that.
Yeah, no doubt. Really one of the things, and it's funny because just this morning we were meeting with one of our clients who's a pretty well-known restaurant owner in the area, and we were just going over numbers to make sure that we had their sales and revenue dialed in so that they're not overpaying. And really the takeaway we've talked, Brandon, is maybe you're a restaurant owner, you could be a contractor, wholesaler, manufacturer. There's a lot of types of business insurance that's based either on your revenue or payroll. And depending on what that looks like post-COVID, you may be overpaying. You may have, the insurance company may have old numbers on the books that you just keep paying, keeps renewing each year. So the other thing I'll just kind of piggyback on real quick, we'll do a quick play action here, if you will, on the consumer quarterback show. But talking with Patrick, it sounded like he mentioned something, and I had a business partner for 10 years, no longer do, bought him out a few years ago. But, we're talking about the life insurance and that protection for your families is really what we're kind of talking about. It really also applies to your business, especially if you've got a partner, right?
Yeah,
so think about that.
Man.
Like you've got a closely held partnership, and a lot of times, and most times in small businesses, you're not looking at huge corporations with boards and all that. Yeah, you're talking, maybe one or two guys or girls or maybe three. And so, the question is, what protection is in place there? If God forbid your business partner dies tomorrow.
Yeah.
Again, I'll give you the disclaimer. I'm not an attorney, but what most attorneys will tell you, if there's been no real planning done, their assets in the business will pass on to their spouse or whatever is in their estate.
Yeah.
And then the question is, do I want to be partners with my business partner's wife?
Right.
Right. Yeah. So, most people, that can be a dicey issue too. So
got to make sure that operating agreement is all buttoned up so you don't fall into that circumstance for sure.
Well, I've been there. And Patrick, the thing is, most people, when I ask the question, they'll say, oh yeah, I've got that taken care of. We've got a partnership agreement. I say, great. How's it funded? Well, what do you mean, how's it funded? Well, how's it funded? What happens if someone dies? Oh, well, we don't have that. I thought we just needed this agreement. Well, no, the reality is you may have the legal agreement in place that says what's going to happen with transfer of ownership, but where's the funding going to come in the event of that? And most people will do that with life insurance. So again, you can have everything we're talking on the personal level. You've got the mirror, in essence, at the business level. Reality is rates are the same, concepts are the same, process is the same. Pretty easy to do. So another one to check is, if you're a business partner, you're in a business with a partnership, do you guys have a buy-sell plan, which is kind of what we're talking the operating agreement side, and is it funded? Do you have a life insurance policy to say, if something happens to either one of us, we know there's going to be a smooth continuation, and the other partner who passes away, his family's taken care of.
And the nice thing is that premium's deductible, too, off of your,
Absolutely. It's tax deductible.
It's not only the business is protected, but the business is paying for it. So as C's saying, if something were to occur, at least all parties are taken care of.
That's good. That's good advice.
Patrick, I need to throw you the ball and bring you on our team too, man. I need to inform me here, Brandon.
Yeah, there we go. See, it's all comprehensive, right? It's a comprehensive approach.
Some synergy going here. No,
by the way, I want to mention Joe Pippin, attorney Joe Pippin, too, for estate plans and probate avoidance. He's the attorney on the team that handles that. He also has his own show on 860 The Answer right here Saturday mornings. So if you've heard Joe Pippin on the show, he's one of our, again, just the highest level of quality expert contributors, aka consumer advocates that come on the show. They appear, they talk about these different things. We want to do this because you kind of sit there as a homeowner, as a mother, as a single parent, as a whatever your scenario is, and you think, man, what are my resources? What are my options? And then you go to the internet and you start looking, and it gets so muddy on there, and you look at all this clickbait, and you're trying to figure out, man, where can I really get some good, solid advice? And that's what we've set this show up for, is we want to be that consumer advocate, years in business, multiple years in business between Patrick, Doug, myself, and we start looking at the people that we've helped in the past, and we've seen the mistakes that they've made, and cumulative knowledge, and just we feel a strong moral obligation to give back. So we've got the connections you need. We can put you in touch with attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, insurance experts, solar companies. I mean, we've got the full gamut of professionals right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So give us a call or a text. Hit the website up, consumerqb.com. Follow us online.